Erica Lorraine Spencer here. This is the P.O.C, Pattern of Conduct, real-time documentation of the state of California's criminal pattern of conduct of federal stalking in concert with the people of the state of California in violation of existing federal law, that is 18 U.S.C. section 2261A, subsection 1 and subsection 2. This is ongoing documentation that is specifically gathered following my release from kidnapping by this entity that was ceaselessly monitoring in violation of 18 U.S.C. and in violation of Title 15 and in violation of the Prison Rape Elimination Act, as I was subject to the same exact criminal pattern of conduct while kidnapped by this entity seeking to conceal this criminal system that I am documenting and publishing and exposing on the venue of the internet, where I am also subject to the criminal pattern of conduct, and understand that kidnapping is the pattern of conduct that is criminal obstruction of justice, as the entity seeks to avoid prosecution and to avoid documentation and exposure for engaging in this criminal system. The people of the state are the vicarious aspect of the entity. They are engaging in federal stalking as I am kidnapped by the state inside of the state facilities, all right? And they are fully engaging in kidnapping upon criminal summoning. So this is the this is the entity from beginning to the end engaging in the criminal acts of the federal stalking and the acts of criminal obstruction of justice. This is also documentation on the venue of the internet engaging in the criminal pattern of conduct via obstruction of justice, and this is in any way reducing or removing the ability to publish the ongoing documentation of the state's criminal pattern of conduct, which is waging an ongoing threat to my life as I remain subject to this criminal system. And this is the criminal pattern of conduct on the venue of the internet, okay? And that is the totality of what I have documented since release. I was kidnapped from June 18, 2021 from third-party facilitating venue of the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, where the Ontario Police Department were monitoring, and this in conformity to the ongoing wealth of documentation that I have already published, specifically revealing the Ontario Police Department engaging in monitoring and kidnapping, which was via the assertion of a fictitious warrant pursuant to a fictitious prosecution. That is the people of the state of California v. Erica Lorraine Spencer, case number Mary Wendy Victor 2000640. I was subject to kidnapping pursuant to this fictitious prosecution, documentation on the facility cameras everywhere that I was inside of the facility of West Valley, located at 9700 Etiwana Avenue in the city of Rancho Cucamonga, California, and at the state facilitating venue of the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court, located at 8303 Haven Avenue in the city of Rancho Cucamonga, and I was subject to federal stalking ceaselessly at the jail, at the courthouse, in the courtrooms, okay? The same exact pattern of conduct ceaselessly underway. The kidnapping serves obstruction of justice, and that this is kidnapping that I endured from June 18th, 2021 up until August 16th, 2021. This is the P.O.C.
6ZUK 835 3NFN 753 7SNA 076 8VRM 567 7S 87110 8PFF 197, group stalking in the parking lot under the fake sun, on Transit and Euclid on the opposite side of the street, monitoring with the police. 7XYJ333. I'm sorry, 7XYJ332. It is 9:08 a.m. That's amplified audible activity that the police are monitoring to, and they're engaging in criminal facilitation such that the people that are stalking around in traffic, all right, in the buildings are surrounding and at the museum, like you see that group stalker, all right, and sitting in their vehicles on the opposite side of the street, like I just documented that third party. They're monitoring together. And this is the Ontario Police engaged in criminal facilitation of federal stalking, okay? It's 9:08 a.m. All right, it is 9:09 a.m. Ontario Police under the fake sun, stalking in relevant position. Vehicle number 1011. Vehicle number 1850, vehicle number 1852, vehicle number 1019. 1019 has license plate 1582404. All right, I did document that on my camera. Again, vehicle number 1852, license 1503465. Vehicle number 1850, license plate number 1503460. Vehicle number 1019. That's a white male that's driving vehicle number 1850. That's a white female that's at vehicle number 1019, but she's just hanging out at the passenger side window. Vehicle number 1011, that's license plate 1576886, and vehicle number 1019, that's a license plate 1582404. Alrighty. And what I'm capturing are they're just maintaining relevant position, and that is S. Patty stalking in relevant position. Officer number 19945, engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring, kidnapping on more than one occasion, and she is here, aware of the documentation that's been published about her on the internet, as she's engaged in repeated acts of kidnapping, and that is C. Scatel as well. I believe her first name is Crystal. These are the exact same officers. They're stalking in relevant position under the state's fake sun, all right? And this is not a coincidence, and they know exactly what I published that on the internet. All right, and they are here using the people of the state of California to engage in form for stalking in relevant position. Okay, that's P.O.C. and it is 9:12 a.m. and this is the same exact pattern of conduct underway. And I'm glad that she's acting like she knows exactly who I am, like we're friends. What's your name?
Stratus.
You're Stratus. What's your officer? What's your number? 19953. I know you. We talked, right? We did. What did we talk about? What did we talk about? I said, what did we talk about? Not where we were. What did we talk about?
We talked about that you couldn't be at the museum.
We did? When was that?
Maybe like...
You remember everybody that you illegally arrest?
I don't illegally arrest
people. That was a kidnapping. You didn't have the right to arrest. And there certainly was no warrant, okay? But you guys claim that. But I'm glad that you're admitting that you know exactly who I am. That was June 18th. She engaged in kidnapping. She says her name is Stratus, 19953. They're engaged in federal stalking right now again of license 1582404. Like I said, they know exactly who I am. Okay, I have on a different hat. Don't have on, I got on a different attire. And not only that, we didn't engage in any long conversation. And all they are doing, by the way, is patrolling, loitering in relevant position across from the museum under the fake sun. Okay, Officer Jay Burnett knew exactly who I was while he was going to the museum. Okay, Officer S. Patty engaged in kidnapping. She calls herself Stratus, that just identified herself. They know exactly who I am while they're engaging in federal stalking. Okay, because that is what is ongoing. You have what the police are engaging in, which is criminal activity, and then acting outside of the law, and then referencing legal doctrines to justify their criminal activity. You don't have probable cause. They know exactly who I am. Okay, while I'm wearing actually different attire. Okay, and I was asleep. Didn't have a hat on my head. I've got a hat on right now. I've got on a different shirt, and I've got my backpack, which I didn't have this on. But she knows exactly who I am. And that's just a common sense aspect. I'm letting you know she knows exactly who I am. She's engaging in federal stalking. The fake sun is in real-time movement as I'm walking around over there across the street now, and it's no longer over the building of the museum. The state's fake sun has moved north as I have moved north across the street and documented all those criminal, demon-possessed stalkers that are the Ontario Police Department. Okay? It is 9:14 a.m. and that is P.O.C. License plate 8RKV922. Directed light is all over this, so while this group stalker in front of me appears to just be walking on the sidewalk, his shadow is moving around his body. All right, his shadow's not on the ground. It appears on the wall, and it is moving around. That's directed light that this group stalker is walking in with a blue shirt. He's walking into the checks, cash, the MoneyGram at the intersection of Holt and Euclid Avenue. License plate 7WMC540, 6JQJ107, 8GWM931, 6SWL965, 6TNR313. License plate, no license plate on this one. $7HPF 865. Yeah, that one has no license plate. 7CBX 495. 8PZSZ 616. 8ERL 802, 8EWU 651. Okay, so I just want to be clear what I documented. This is the state's fake son that's in real-time movement, and I'm going to show you that because this is speaking to exactly what the Ontario Police Department, like I have already established, but what they are doing, understand they're doing it in concert with the people. They will submit to, the people have submitted to arrest in order to provide form for the police. The people have submitted to the outward form of what appears to be an investigation being conducted in order to maintain light activity and presence by the police. The police will, third parties will submit to what appears on the outside to be a search while they are monitoring together. And the fake son isn't present. Directed light is present. Ongoing amplification of audible activity, stalking with activity, which is the demonic behavioral pattern. While, by the way, the state is also engaging in what is stalking directly. Okay, the police are engaged. That the police presence is a hallmark that they're stalking directly, in addition to the plane and helicopter stalking conduct. Okay, that is ongoing. And the state's fake son is no longer over the museum. It has progressed north, where I am right now on the opposite side of transit, and I'm going to show you that right now. All right, I did just recite that on video. That's why you're hearing the pause. I want to get this. BS19Y87 is a paper plate, knowing that they're going to be documented, so they come prepared with temporary license plates. License plate BS19Y87, that's a paper plate. And I already documented this license plate, just stalking in relevant position, patrolling. No, this is the one that was with the moving shadow, 6TNR313. He's the one that, he's just sitting in the parking lot while that ongoing light activity is ongoing. And again, as I use my voice and speak, that's audible activity under the fake sun as well. So he's loitering in the parking lot. The state's creating audible activity via amplified motorcycle and amplified traffic and flying over in airplanes and keeping the fake sun, which is now over me at transit, as I just showed in the video. And he is loitering in relevant positions, sitting in his car, monitoring to that, okay? That's what the group the people of the state do. And the Ontario Police Department are monitoring with the people of the state who provide no form, heavily documented and established what the people of the state of California are engaging in, which is a system of federal stalking in concert with the state, which is exactly why the state is stalking with a light source. Not only for the criminal purposes of the state, i.e. the Ontario Police Department to monitor, but for the people of the state. Because they're monitoring while I'm inside of Starbucks, as I demonstrated. They're monitoring while I'm inside of the library, as I've demonstrated. They're monitoring as I'm walking down the street, as I've demonstrated. License plate 61628D2, 6VNT872, 7LEV545, KWJSTAR. And it is currently 1:43. I'm sorry, that's not 1:43. It is 9:22 a.m. All right, I just wanted to show again what is the ongoing environment, maintain the direct evidence against the people, not only 6BFC 979, but like I was stating while I was there, officers, the Ontario Police Department that are engaged in stalking, 7ZXS 733. That's demon possession, what I'm revealing to you. Those are demons that engaged in literally pouncing on me at the museum. It's like those demons are scared. I'm literally laying in my sleeping bag, waking up after I'm capturing the video of the helicopter. Immediately as I stopped that video at 8 a.m., at 8 a.m., and again, they're monitoring, so they're knowing when you're recording a video, they're knowing everything you're doing on the video, on your communication device and on the internet. And as soon as I stopped capturing that video at 8 a.m. of the state stalking via helicopter, while I'm sleeping in my sleeping bag, I'm still in my sleeping bag, which you see all of this in the impossible light activity underneath the shaded area That's directed light. The same light that's showing my shadow on both sides of me right now, that's what the state is keeping underneath the shaded area on the south side of the museum, where I'm capturing the state's stalking via helicopter at 8 o'clock in the morning on June 18th, 2021. And then as soon as I stop that video, sirens sound. That's the Ontario Police Department, who are already present. The state just creates audible activity. They were already stalking in relevant position. That's why the ongoing environment remains. That was called conspicuous stalking. All right, that you are emptying out a third party's vehicle is no form. You're in relevant position. You are in the state's directed light. The state's pattern of conduct is underway. You're witnessing not only federal stalking, you're witnessing demonic possession. The abysmal failure at trying to achieve some outward appearance of doing something separate and apart. It's called form, and there is no form. 7Y 72243. That's demonic. I'm letting you know what they're engaging. That's demonic. That's a demon. Revs his engine as he drives past me while I have got my shadows around me, knowing exactly what I'm doing, which is documenting him. License 8KZD684 is the same actor revving that engine. They're one entity. 8KZT066, the same threat, all right, while they're molesting together, engaging in repeated acts of kidnapping, all right? That's the entity that's revving his motorcycle engine, okay? That's P.O.C, and they're one entity. So that's what they just provided right now. It's 9:27 a.m., and I just captured videos, so you'll see that. And again, like I said, I'm remaining at the intersection of Euclid and Holt. There is no sun even in the direction of 706 West Boulevard. And what I mean by that, meaning the light object, 8XAK163, the light object is not even on Holt Boulevard. It's right here on Euclid where I stand, where you see in the video, where I have two shadows around me. All right, and this same light activity as what I captured inside of the Starbucks, where the state's light source followed to 706 West Holt, 5LCP991. United Carrier, California 532659. Monitoring. 4SU1527 is the back license plate on that truck. So I'm going to point my camera in the direction of west on Holt Boulevard, and you'll see the absence of any light source. It's a hovering light source. It's not in that direction. It's right behind my head. But yet, while I'm standing at the Starbucks facing the building, facing east, it's right there over the building. Okay, license plate 7JTG370. 8SEB214-62462P1. All right, in that audible activity, the state applies a microphone to it, and it's exceptionally loud while I'm on the museum grounds. All right, that's called audible activity. That's how the people contribute to the ongoing surveillance that they're engaging in with the state. I'm going to show you the absence of any sun even in the direction of 706 West Holt Boulevard, and that's in direct conflict with what you clearly saw on camera. And inside, while I'm inside, and I'm capturing it right outside the window, but here it is right behind my back while I'm at the intersection of Holt Euclid. So in other words, I'm facing east in order to capture it right here, down here at Euclid and Holt, whereas where I'm at the building, it's right there over the tip of the edge of the building while I'm standing in the parking lot, and it's right in the window when I'm inside of 706 West Holt Boulevard, the Starbucks. It's 9:29 a.m. Okay, I did capture video. That's why there's a little bit of a lengthy pause. But I captured video 9:30 a.m. and I'm showing you what is the clear absence of any light source. This point has already been demonstrated over and over and over again. Okay, and so I am punctuating it because you have what are the police department that lack any form whatsoever. Their repeated acts of kidnapping is ongoing evidence against the same exact allegations as well. And you have what is documenting them loitering, because that's what it is. There is no First Amendment rights of you're not doing your job. The state's pattern of conduct is underway, and they represent the state that is engaging in stalking, acting via the people of the state of California to provide form, which there is no form. And I'm showing you what is the maintenance of that environment, in addition to what is the absence of any sun, even in the direction of 706 West Holt. It is behind my back, as I am standing at the intersection of Euclid and Holt Boulevard, as I'm facing west, facing the direction of where the Starbucks is located, license plate 5KGY687, where I'm standing facing the direction of the 706 West Holt Boulevard, and yet you see yesterday clearly captured in video, and that's why I take video so you can witness it for yourself. It's clearly, the light source is clearly in the window of the venue. All right, that's not being over in front of the 150 East Holt Health Public Clinics Department at 150 East Holt Boulevard, because if that's the case, I wouldn't be able to capture it in the window. And it's clearly over this intersection of San Antonio. The state's keeping its light source, moving it backwards to be in the window while I enter the venue of the Starbucks, moving it to the edge of the building as I exit the building to document third parties in the parking lot. Because if it was at that intersection, standing in front of the tall building of the Starbucks, I wouldn't be able to see it. All right, so the state is moving it in real time. But not only that, you're looking at what is while I'm facing the Starbucks, and the state's fake center is over the edge of that building, and there is no light source even in that direction. It's behind me. Okay, so it is right here at the intersection of Euclid and Holt Boulevard. By the way, not over the third-party group stalker at the south side of the museum where I slept. It's not remaining over him over there like it does when I'm over there, over at that south end. All right, a third party, all right, monitoring. License plate 8P97101. I don't know why I want to say 4 so bad. License plate, it is currently 9:36 a.m. and that's what you'll see on video. And that's what I just captured, in addition to the Ontario Police stalking with activity, with real time to my describing what I'm about to capture in video. The Ontario Police Department cross path. This is demon possession. That's stalking with activity, knowledge of what's being documented and captured. That's going toward those group stalkers wearing Ontario Police uniforms. And also, again, understand, not a coincidence with regard to the criminal activity that has been published on the internet, that those same exact officers are loitering in relevant position under the fake sun in directed light. License plate 7XPP784. That claimed a fictitious warrant and a fictitious prosecution, acting pursuant to the state's criminal pattern of conduct of obstruction of justice, while I am documenting and publishing federal stalking by the state of California. Those same officers loitering in relevant position at 214 South Euclid Avenue, even admitting to knowing my name, and there is no relationship, there is no friendship there, there was no conversation, and I am dressed differently. I have on a hat that is substantially covering my face, and I am walking, and they know exactly who I am. That's just the common sense, that's the surface aspect analysis of it. Beyond that, I'm letting you know they're engaged in federal stalking, which the ongoing environment, maintenance of that is the direct evidence of it. They know who I am, period. But I'm just letting you know, you don't even have reason to know who I am. 8VOX753, 6NSV777. But this is, hi Erica, audible activity under the fake sun, which is no longer over the museum while I'm documenting the Ontario Police. It's right over the parking lot of 214 South Euclid Avenue, which you'll also see in video, while they are monitoring with the people of the state. Emptying out a third party's vehicle is no form. 6J59325, that is, there is no conduct or activity that is making anyone above suspicion where the state's criminal pattern of conduct of federal stalking is underway. That is how public corruption exists. It is in plain sight. They are engaging in stalking while they are monitoring in concert with the people of the state, engaging in facilitation of that crime as well. 8NUB458. Remember, my shadow is surrounding me right now. 78CV845, 72457N2. And this is the environment that's maintained while they are acting with the people, loitering in relevant position. Using that same parking lot as I documented the other day while I was at the museum as well, stalking in that parking lot, then driving in a circle as I'm capturing them on video, demonic activity, 8NNP132. All right, just like the state flies in a circle, it's demonic. It's pacing. That's demon possession. All right, and this demonic entity that is being revealed as I am exposing what is criminal conduct by a state, as I am exposing this demonic entity that's in operation over the state, over the people of the state that are engaging in this joint criminal conduct, understand it's entirely hostile to that. All right. And so this is being communicated also through the environment, through the conduct of the people. And that is a communication of a threat. And I'm glad I identified those officers. They are engaging in terrorism. They are engaging in that which is an unlawful threat while you have engaged in documented acts of kidnapping, while you are engaging in federal stalking. And that's exactly how they're going to be prosecuted. 8WDS 576, 7EXU 913, 8VDM 719, 7HNM 241. And as I am on the sidewalk, after leaving their presence, and my shadow is on both sides of me, while the state's fake sun is right in front of me. All right, this is an ongoing threat that is posed by the Ontario Police Department, who are monitoring with the people of the state, acting as the gang that the people of the state and the entity are, as they are engaging in this criminal conduct together. All right, it is 9:39 a.m. and I remain at the intersection. You're going to see a group stalker wearing a navy blue sweatshirt and blue shorts and tennis shoes. This would look like an old white guy. He's got white stripes on the side of his shorts. He's patrolling. That's what patrolling is under the fake sun. You're not exercising. You're engaging in relevant positioning. 8LDC 266. That's maintenance of relevant positioning. It is 9:40 a.m. Cucamonga Jumpers, Party Rentals, license plate AX12F91, and that looks like a paper plate on that commercial vehicle. I want to make sure I specifically document the absence of that light source, which is what I captured on video. There's no sun even in the direction of the Starbucks, which while I'm at the venue and I'm capturing it clearly over the edge of the building, over my head, while I am documenting third parties in the parking lot, as it is in the window, as I am standing in the window, as the Ontario Fire Department, also indicative of what's going on, are stalking in relevant position in alignment to me in the parking lot next to El Pollo Loco, where I'm sitting. That's called relevant positioning, just like the Ontario Police Department are doing at 214 South Euclid Avenue. They're in alignment to me while I'm at the museum. This is stalking in the path. License plate 8XFF874 is monitoring to that audible activity while the state's fake sun remains over my head. All right. So I just want to be clear, that is the absence of that light source, and that is the ongoing documentation against Starbucks located at 507 North Euclid Avenue, where there is no sun even in that direction. It's remaining right here at Euclid and Holt, which is south of 507 North Euclid Avenue. And it is impossible for it to be remaining in alignment to me, while I have clearly shown that's what it was doing. And you know that that's the fact because the state's fake sun is keeping in alignment to me right now where I'm at. All right, not keeping in alignment with those employees that work there at that Starbucks, and being clearly right here in front of my face in alignment to me is not the same or equal to or able to coexist with being at an entirely different address and remaining there for the duration of the day. There's no mistake about where it's at, so you're not arguing, oh no, well it's actually there because the sun is so big it looks like it's moving. No, that is a hovering light source, and it is engaged in real-time necessary migration to maintain what is central presence over me, meaning it is in its zenith at all times of the day, remaining over the specific address where I am located. There's no mistake about that, and there is no reconciling the documented conduct of the state's light source at 507 North Euclid Avenue remaining central to my position even inside of that building. All right, and then remaining for the duration of the day. As I step outside on this onto the sidewalk, the state's light source is right there over my head, as it is remaining for hours. You're talking about 7 a.m. after 7:30 in the morning, and it remains until after 4 p.m. That's as late as I have documented it. but the state is engaging in placing its fake sun over 706 West Holt Boulevard, okay? And remaining and keeping, right now, today, keeping its fake sun over the intersection of Euclid and Holt Boulevard, which is south of the 507 North Euclid Avenue. And this is conduct that is never going to result in that light source ever being over the Ontario Police Department at 2500 South Archibald Avenue. Right, that light source was over the Ontario Police Department because I was at the Ontario Police Department. That's why that light source was at the Ontario Police Department. And it is revealing ongoing demon possession, because this is a satanic system that I'm exposing that is criminal. That's called amplification. All right, way down at the opposite end of Euclid Avenue, that's amplification. That is stalking with audible activity as you hear a group stalker honk their horn as I walk toward that intersection. All right, these are demons. Those are demons. And demonic possession personified through the use of a company. Understand, Amtrak, as it is used to engage in the criminal pattern of conduct, that is the personification of the same demon possession. Those same demonic actors are just creating that audible activity pursuant to that same demonic behavioral pattern. Therefore, okay, you're looking at what is not only the criminal monitoring that company is engaged in, documented as engaging in and facilitating. You're talking about that company being engaged in what is terrorism, okay? While they are engaging in that demonic behavioral pattern, while the state is using that company as a means of engaging in that demonic behavioral pattern, which is accomplishing a criminal purpose. That is the terrorism as you are prosecuting federal stalking by an entity. And that is Amtrak engaging in that conduct. It is 9:45 a.m. Alrighty, I just wanted to document that the absence of any light source over even in the direction of not only of 706 West Holt, but 507 North Euclid Avenue. The state's fake sun is right here as I am facing east at the intersection of Euclid and Holt. As I've shown day in and day out, while I stood here at this intersection for hours and the state's fake sun remained over this location. But yet again, as I'm showing as early as 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, where the state's fake sun is, in alignment with me over my head, remaining over the venue where I'm located at, and those just happen to be Starbucks because I'm going to prosecute them. They're engaging in the state's criminal pattern of conduct. Understand the case against the people of the state acting via Starbucks is the case against the people. All right? You're talking about the criminal activity being facilitated inside of that company business. 5WUA 894, 6YLP 134, 17284 Henry 1, 8PNT 973, 6YGL 614, DU 758 handicap. All of them monitoring with that demon that was on that motorcycle, 8VKR 861. All of them are one entity, engaging and posing that threat under the fake sun together, 7ZEA 800. They're one entity. This is a pack. These are demons, okay? You prosecute them all together. They're engaging in terrorism together. And here comes the demon-possessed state actor, the Ontario Police Department, under the same fake sun. Vehicle number 1852. That's the white male. License plate EN937. That's handicap. 5TOG163. And Ontario Police Department are stalking like the people are via a stoplight. The state is controlling the traffic lights, by the way. It's used as a means of stalking with activity. And you're also loitering in relevant position at a traffic light under the same fake sun, under the same directed light, under the same amplified audible activity. The Omnitrans bus line is engaging in federal stalking as well. All right. Ontario Police proceeding to go east on Hope Boulevard right now. License plate 1503465, vehicle 1852. That's the white male. License plate 7UAU207. 8K90919, I believe. 8RLN760. SJY714. 8204722. Paper plate, and it looks like the Altima that was monitoring with the Ontario Police on that back street, driven by a Latina female. Looks up to be heavyset. She's proceeding south on Euclid Avenue right now. It was a white Altima that they were emptying, and I put that in air quotes because they were loitering in relevant position under the fake sun. 6ANB440, 6A73189, 6NRP342, 4YNV261, 6EVG454, 7HXM820, 8CSZ761. All right, understand it might as well have been any one of them stalking with the Ontario Police Department. I don't need that paper plate that is used as a means to conceal identity. The entity is one engaging in kidnapping, federal stalking, sexual violence, and terrorism together. 8WBX446. Any one of those license plates, because they're all monitoring with the state. The state is monitoring. The Ontario Police Department are monitoring right now. They are stalking right now. Every single last one of these actors are monitoring with the police. So it might as well be any one of them. I don't need that particular license plate. Do you understand? This is what stalking by entity is. All right, you're just you've documented the whole entity. You might as well be any one of them in that parking lot with the police. 09755P1 6WVS512 8MSA153. Omnitrans license 1545907, and that particular one is the one that is monitoring with the Ontario Police while they are sitting at the traffic light. All right, that's intentional presence. It's concerted conduct. 5GCS236. Again, that third party deviates from its time schedules, deviates from its routes in order to engage in relevant positioning, stalking with the state. And also capitalizes off of that same business in order to engage in the pattern of conduct of stalking with the state, okay? There is no form. License plate, 8SKA969, 7SUE033. American Towing, license plate, I can't really see that one, but that was American Towing. License 96849L1 or 9Z1. 8K49428, 6LLH054, 4FWZ726, they're just systematically monitoring. That's why the fake sun is over this intersection at Euclid and Holt. 8UQD859, 6FOW706, 0300Y2, 03400Y2, 17547T1, 5HDM530, excuse me, 7C96945. Stephanie's Windows is what that says. It's 9:52 a.m. Fake sun blaring in the intersection of Euclid and Holt Boulevard. 8NQD504, 8GSE662, 8TWU438, 8RXK834, 4FWZ728, 6679V2, STEP71, 5X11707, 7ETB135, 6VFL176, 8CBB603, 8JAG619, 8MKG608, 8TTG140, 5ROD449, 8RTU285, 5UCU655, 8GIU785, 6CDD030, 6HFL908, 88369J2, 8EKX015, 6ETP200, 7GJY159, 8TQL129, 7GSA208, 8M56944, 7VPT070, 8, I can't really see that one, 8XYY615, 93314. That's a different kind of license plate. If that's a sort of veteran, he's engaging in criminal activity, he gets no respect. 7G68469, get no respect, no honor over here. There is no discrimination with regard to what is, first of all, demon possession, and second of all, federal stalking. The criminal pattern of conduct underway, you're crossing paths under the exact same fake sun. 6HFL908, 7JRS370, 8MSP514, BKSOUL. You sure do have a black soul. 7KYN939, 5SOX256 or 5SQX256, 8F HW436, takes one for the team, gets out of the lane in order to cross path because I'm moving. That's called stalking with activity. This is 8WSX425. Seven MTK816, 8 NRE503, 51289D1, 7 BCP763, 8 FIF 895, 6 KSU 733, 7 KYN 939. Yeah, in case I didn't say that one. That's audible activity by Black Soul. 5 SOX, that's what that was, 256. 7 HFA 471. It is 9:55 a.m. And so let me show you what is the remaining of the state's fake sun at this intersection. Now, it has moved to the opposite side of the intersection because I moved to the opposite side of the street, but it's not even in the direction of, as I'm facing west toward that Starbucks, and it's not in the direction as I face north toward that Starbucks. It's right here in front of me as I face east at the intersection of Euclid and Holt Boulevard. 7KNE299 and, let's see, 8UQD859, 7FW073, substantially similar to that. 9:55 a.m. license plate. Get this old geezer. 16G3910. All right, that was 16G3910. 8NUU570. These demons are all monitoring to that. 8LGC259. KKV3013. 8JYP929. 8JLT836. 5EXW014. Those are all demons, all right? And that is also, let me let you know what that is. That's also a communication of a demonic hostility, all right? They're very, very hostile to being exposed as demon-possessed actors because they are. This is demonic activity that I'm revealing, and it's also criminal, all right? And that's hostility as they're engaging in the criminal elements under the fake sun, all right? License plate 6PKX750. And all of them engaged in kidnapping. All of them are sex offenders. 7LYK367, 7UCA793, 6DAU136. All of them. They are one entity acting together. 6TNX039, repeatedly engaging in criminal acts of obstruction of justice. All right, that is the pitfall. That's the flip side of monitoring with the state as an entity, because that criminal activity that you engage in together, you're going to be prosecuted as one and isolated at that prosecution. One can't help the other, but you're all catching them charges together. Let's see, 8NQN635, substantially similar. They can claim whatever they want, but they have no form, all right? There is no argument. I have demonstrated the totality, I thoroughly demonstrated how the system operates and how everything that comes out of the face of a demon-possessed stalker, third party, or state is nothing but audible activity. The ongoing environment is the evidence against them, and you're witnessing demonic activity using these actors as they're engaging in monitoring via traffic, systematic monitoring, 6YBU846. Audible activity under the fake sun by this motorcycle, and the state provides a microphone to that. All right, that's demon possession. 82606L1, demon possession being acted out in the outward conduct. All right, demon possession as it is being acted out. Okay, 8HIL894. So let me get this demonic actor. License plate 22V3788. All right, that's a coward and that's a demon possessed stalker on a motorcycle. License plate 24732C1 6XFR 761 8DLB152 EV335 handicap 6EZA372, I believe, 6ZZV805. G64611. That's an old Ford truck. It's blue. It's 10:02 a.m. State's fake sun is remaining, like I just showed you in video, over the intersection of Euclid and Holt. That is not over 507 North Euclid Avenue, not even comparable. Not over 706 West Holt, not comparable to that. And not over in front of me as I'm facing east, meaning I am behind the location. I am east of this intersection where the state's fake sun is right here over me at the intersection. I am east of this location on Plum, facing the Ontario Town Square townhomes, and at 10 a.m. the state's fake sun is over that apartment building. That's what you're looking at, all right? 6RBZ961, 5SGW188, and 5SYW033, 8LXB760, 8VZF689, right? And that's just this block, okay? Let's be clear. Let's not forget about Economy Inn and all that documentation and the impossibility of all of that to coexist as well, all right? Let's not forget about Los Angeles. 8RDW070. Let's not forget about Riverside County, Harupa Valley, Country Village. Getting outside of San Bernardino County, went to Riverside, same exact pattern of conduct. Let's not forget about that, okay? Let's not forget about the Ontario Police Department. It's 10:03 a.m. and yet somehow the state's fake sun is over my head at 2500 South Euclid Avenue, where it is remaining right now, where I am, in its zenith, central over my head at 10:03 a.m. remaining since I captured those demon-possessed stalkers of the Ontario Police Department, all right? For hours, all right? That's the light source over that Ontario Police Department. Stalking there at a state facilitating venue and stalking here at a third-party facilitating venue and stalking right now while the people are patrolling at this intersection under the fake sun, which is revealing what is demonic activity by the people of the state of California. Demons, 84884G2, 6EWZ957, 8VSV960. Omnitrans, understand there's no difference. I'm just naming a different actor. 1404974, bus number 1330, driven by a Latino male. Same demon possession, okay? 8TJG121, same exact demon possession. 6KZM139, 6Y46854, 7EEA959. And I'm going to prosecute, just like I told you, I'm going to profusely prosecute and reveal Starbucks to be the criminal that it is. Contrary to their commercials and the way they are depicting themselves on the public stage, they are engaging in gross criminal activity and facilitation of that criminal activity, which I don't have to make up. I documented it for you to witness for yourself. 8ROD477, 7DEM378, 5TNC510, 5HPL649. 6EUL270, 8FNF848, Ontario Police 1591672, 8SO7R79, and that's why you have the state's fake sun over those venues while I am at those venues, because they are facilitating venues. They're monitoring American citizens. They're sexually violating American citizens. That's why you see that impossible light, that directed light over the bathroom area while I'm in both of those venues. They're sex offenders. They're engaging in terrorism. This is documented criminal activity by Starbucks. All right, incontrovertible, direct evidence against the people of the state. And then those sex offending terrorists have the audacity to summon those demon-possessed police officers who are way too obsessed with me, way too concerned about me, while they are hostile to that criminal conduct that I'm documenting, okay? While they're acting with minions under the age of 18, who are in no way escaping prosecution either, okay? They're monitoring with communication devices. You don't have to be over 18 to catch those federal charges. You will catch them thoroughly. 8TCD085. 3H52817. You're seeing how demons behave. Stalking with activity, honking their horn as I'm turning in opposite direction. Omnitrend stalking with light. Understand the same exact pattern of conduct while they're using a commercial vehicle. All right? That is P.O.C. They're sitting at the stand where I documented this morning, double shadows. Shadows on both sides of me while the fake sun is over my head. Omnitrend has no form. Okay? I'm stripping it down. There is no form. This is a demonic system in operation, and these demons happen to be engaged in criminal activity, which they're going to be prosecuted for. 997WR, handicap. Omnitrends doesn't have any form. 8SKS2007, 7G68401, 8VUA890, 8HLZ089. They're sitting under the same exact directed light where I have double shadows at that bus stop. The state is aiming its directed light. They're monitoring via Omnitrans. Omnitrans is intentionally present in that directed light, adding to light activity. Using those hazards under the ongoing pattern of conduct is the revealing of what is demon possession, engaging in the criminal elements of monitoring, 8GDD682, 7GCC453, 8CHC239, 42173G1, 8WKA752, 8TBP501, 7JYQ372, I believe, 8TDE967. All right, it is 10:07 a.m. That is P.O.C. No fake sun even in the direction of Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue. No fake sun over 706 West Holt. It is right here over the intersection of remaining where I remain with the impossible light activity. All right, heavily documented the people of the state, the Ontario Police Department monitoring with the entity that has zero form. Those are obsessed, demon-possessed stalkers that I documented again, aware of the documentation on the internet. That's why they're going out of their way to stalk again and communicate a threat. That's how that's analyzed. You're communicating a threat while you're engaged in what is that passive-aggressive stalking, which is not so passive-aggressive as you've engaged in repeated acts of kidnapping while federal stalking was underway. Criminal obstruction of justice. The same officers, all right? License plate 8UJC205, 8NTX397, 4XGT497, 8LBJ919, 8MSL772. That's P.O.C. It's 10:08 a.m. All right, it is 10:11 a.m. and that is P.O.C. What I showed, okay, it's 10:12 a.m. right now. All right, let me speak to what I showed on the video. As I showed at 9 a.m., you have what is the state's light source as it is over the side of the museum where I am located at. And I just wanted to contrast that to what I clearly captured on video day in and day out, where the state's fake sun is not only over the venue as early as 7 o'clock in the morning, just like it was on June 18, 2021, where I'm documenting the Ontario police engaging in federal stalking and then criminal obstruction of justice via kidnapping while you're documenting them engaging in federal stalking, claiming a fictitious warrant. Those same police officers engaging in loitering in relevant position at 214 South Euclid Avenue in alignment under the fake sun that remained well after 9 a.m. as I captured it. State's fake sun is not over the same side where I'm capturing it as I remain. It's 10 o'clock right now, and the state's fake sun, this is what I showed in video also, Well, I'm talking about the 3-star janitorial. I'm talking about the Starbucks at 706 West Hall. I'm talking about the Starbucks at 507 North Euclid. I'm talking about the Ontario Town Square homes, where the state's fake sun is clearly captured over my head. At the same time, what I also captured, and this is the direct point, the Ontario Museum of History and Art, well, I'm looking at it right now, and the state's fake sun is nowhere even over that property. It's right here over the intersection, while the state is also engaging in stalking by airplane. That's Delta Airlines and Amazon Prime engaging in terrorism, all right? That is the absence of that sun, and it's 10 a.m. at the same time. That's also what you're observing. I'm clearly capturing it while I'm on the property. I clearly captured while the state has kept its fake sun at the same time over my head at the same intersection, while I'm documenting minions such as 8308083. Okay, but yet you have it at 7:30, 8 a.m. over 507 North Euclid Avenue, over 706 West Holt Boulevard, all right, over 2301 South Euclid Avenue, Economy Inn, all right, over while I'm at the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library at the same time at 10:13 a.m. It's right here, nowhere near the entrance of the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. It's right here remaining over the intersection of Euclid and Holt. Okay, it's not over the south side of the Ontario Museum of History and Arts as it is while I am there. It's right here in front of me over my head while minions such as 6RKZ754 are crossing path under the fake sun, which is not over the south side of the museum. Just like it wasn't this morning, because I wasn't on the south side of the museum. That third-party group stalker was, and the fake sun wasn't over his head on the south side of the museum, right? That's P.O.C. That's also what you're looking at in this video that I'm demonstrating. And while the Ontario police are engaging in ongoing group stalking, showing that same demon possession as license plate P7A3HB, Arizona 7HRY908, 34014X2, 02211F1, HAPAKEA, 7XMF091, 5LYP837. Okay, same demon possession, same criminal activity. That's why the state's light source is remaining here, and it is not right now at 10:15 a.m. cozy next to the entrance of 215 EC Street. I'm going to show you where it is as I'm facing east, just as while I'm at the library, I'm facing east as I'm in front of the entrance, and the state's fake sun is cozy next to the entrance. And then at 10:30, it's at the back of the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. Right now, it's over the Euclid and Holt Boulevard intersection, where it has remained for over an hour now, where I'm documenting third parties. And this is in no way mistakable with being over the entrance next to the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. That's P.O.C. What else are you witnessing from this video that I just captured right now at 9 a.m., at 10 a.m.? You're going to remember what I've already published, okay? I already published the state's fake sun on this same exact sidewalk where I'm going to T-Mobile right before I capture the directed light at the top of the ceilings inside of the T-Mobile store, right here at the intersection of Euclid and Holt Boulevard. And what is right over my head at 2 o'clock in the afternoon after it's leaving from the property of Economy Inn located at 2301 South Euclid Avenue. I'm talking about the state's light source, the fake sun, which remained over Economy Inn, all right, which is way south down this street, all right? The state's fake sun at 2 o'clock in the afternoon is right over my head at the same exact intersection where it is remaining since 9 a.m. As I come to this intersection. This is the same exact position that it is in while I am walking on the sidewalk at 10 a.m. It's in the center of the intersection at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's right over my head while I am walking on the sidewalk. This is the same exact position. This is, again, that same remaining following wherever I go. And all you have to do is pay attention to the documentation I've already published. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the state's fake sun is over my head while Amazon Prime is flying over my head under the fake sun as I go inside of T-Mobile and I am blocked from the ability to make a purchase as Rapid Card engaged in the pattern of conduct with the state, okay? And the directed light is captured inside of that venue. This is the same fake sun at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, which is over the exact same intersection. That's exactly what the state did at 507 North Euclid Avenue, keeping its fake sun over that Starbucks all day long. This is exactly the same thing the state did with its fake sun over Economy and keeping it over that venue all day long. This is exactly what the state does with its fake sun over 150 East Holt, the health clinic building, where I have captured it in the morning as I'm walking on Holt Boulevard, 9 o'clock in the morning. Pay attention because I've already published this. And I'm capturing it late in the evening as I'm walking in the opposite direction on the same street. And the state is just moving its light source as I walk either direction. And you're capturing the state's fake sun over the same building hours later in the same day. All right. And that is no migration east or west. That is maintaining presence in alignment with me as I am going up and down Holt Boulevard. That is not the sun, and I just want to pay attention, bring that to your attention as well, because that's where I'm standing right now in front of the T-Mobile, where you're seeing the state's fake sun over the center of the intersection, okay? All right, 7NVZ567. It's 10:19 a.m. Let me get this group stalker that's monitoring with T-Mobile. He's hopping inside of the third-party vehicle, may or may not even be linked to them, but the license plate is 8SAX 530. He was group stalking on the sidewalk, monitoring, and then he engages in audible activity creation with T-Mobile and does so as I am documenting the state's fake sun. All right, that's P.O.C, and I want to document what is the state's light source, what I just spoke to on my podcast. And you're looking at what is the state's fake sun over the intersection, where it's right over my head as I captured it coming from Economy Inn when I was staying at that venue. I've published this documentation already. All right, and it is in direct alignment with me where I'm on the same exact sidewalk, and at 2 p.m. I go inside of T-Mobile, and they are monitoring inside of that venue. This third-party group stalker is using a skateboard as audible activity under the fake sun. Okay, I'm going to show you a video of that. Alrighty, I just wanted to capture visual, even though the video that I already shot would show you the same thing. All right, because you're looking at what is the remaining presence of that light source. It's not going nowhere, but I wanted to punctuate my point and show you it's 10 in the morning, and I've been here since before 10, of course, capturing what are my shadows on both sides of me, etc. But you have what is the point where I'm staying on this exact same sidewalk. And at 2 o'clock, well after 2 p.m., where I'm coming from, Economy Inn, where the state is documented keeping its light source, nowhere near the museum, but I'm able to stand outside of my room and capture the state's light source over that parking lot, over the edge of the room as I stand outside and point my camera upward. And then the state engages in moving its light source north as I'm in the vehicle with Tracy Banks, and she's driving north up Euclid Avenue to get to this T-Mobile located at 101 North Euclid Avenue. And the state's fake sun is right over my head well after 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. All right. I'm documenting step by step that ongoing light activity that is accompanying that, the impossible presence of that. OK, the ongoing impossibility that is ever the sun. But then you have the state, which in August, after I'm released from kidnapping, which is hoping that you forget all the documentation that's already been published, places its fake sun over the Ontario Police Department at 11 o'clock a.m. at 11 a.m. and at 4 o'clock in the evening as well. And ongoing thorough documentation already published as to where the state has been keeping its light source. It is impossible that the actual sun is ever over that building. And that's not the sun that you're looking at while I'm at the Ontario Police Department on August 17th and on August 18th. You are looking at the state's light source because federal stalking is underway, and it is also telling their secret, which is demonic possession. That's what that's telling. And that's why the state's fake sun is right here over me at the same sidewalk that I captured in May of 2021. After leaving from Economy Inn, this is the same exact sidewalk where the state's fake sun is over me and Amazon Prime is flying next to me. The same exact one at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun is not remaining over the intersection of Euclid Avenue and Hope Boulevard all day long. The sun is not remaining over 2301 South Euclid Avenue to 101 North Euclid Avenue in the windshield and window of the vehicle of Tracy Banks that I'm inside of back to Economy Inn. That's not the sun. That's stalking with light. It's 10:24 a.m. And these indeed are minions and demon-possessed stalkers that I'm documenting in both their private vehicles and commercial vehicles such as Omnitrans bus number 1325. That is P.O.C. All right, I want to document Alaska Airlines, Delta Airlines, Amazon Prime, Amtrak, Omnitrans engaging in the ongoing terrorism. Alaska Airlines is used as a means of crossing path right over me at the intersection of Euclid and Holt right now at 10:28 a.m. Stalking with activity, meaning with simultaneity to my activity on my communication device. That goes to the federal stalking aspect, monitoring on the internet and via communication devices in concert with the people of the state that I've gathered more of their identities today again. And so while I'm out here doing that, Alaska Airlines is used as a means of stalking with activity. That is terrorism. And I just want to document those commercial actors today. Delta Airlines thus far, Amazon Prime, and that's Alaska Airlines. And this is Omnitrans is systematically engaging in that as well. And you have what is the use of that commercial line while I am publishing my podcast, okay? So as I'm preparing to press publish, Alaska Airlines is used as a means of what is formed for amplified plane activity, while that brand is used as a means of terrorizing an American citizen. It's 10:29 a.m. That's P.O.C. And here's another plane while the entity listens to me documented. Amazon Prime, okay? P.O.C. Fake sun over the intersection of Euclid and Hope Boulevard. And by the way, when I'm speaking to the criminal activity and the demonic possession, that's not a coincidence. It's the absence of coincidence that as I speak of them, they engage in the conduct, okay? That is the demonic behavioral pattern. It is the federal stalking conduct, but that's a demonic behavioral pattern. I'm naming Amazon Prime, and Amazon Prime flies right next to me under what is the impossible circumstance of what is the fake sun. That's not the sun. This is directed light. This is why I have my shadow surrounding me. All right, this is the ongoing stalking by the state by helicopter and police. Amazon Prime flying right next to me is the absence of coincidence. That's the demonic behavioral pattern. That is terrorism, as I was documenting it. And seconds later, Amazon Prime engages in that repeated act, okay? That's the absence of coincidence. That's what I'm saying. It's 10:30 a.m. That's P.O.C. Audible activity provided by Amazon Prime. That's flying over again. 7TOS 367, 4SUP 422, 8LRM 184, J140VO, 7ZXL 162, 6KFS 966, 8CXA 112, 6WHT 269, 3W24051, 8MGV 260, 8JUN 811. 6PWF 773, WITWIDJ, 8ROT 699, 8HOS 909, TRN2SLD, I got that one, 7Y46854, I believe I read that one already too, 6UUH 269, and Amazon Prime in the sky space. That music is audible activity while Amazon Prime is flying over the health building, and then amplification of plane activity as I address Amazon Prime flying in the sky space over the health building. This is Amazon Prime engaging in patrolling. Amazon Prime again, Delta Airlines, Alaska Airlines, they represent the people. Not only providing instrumentalities of federal stalking, but engaging in federal stalking directly. They're engaging in it, and they're providing instrumentalities in order to engage in federal stalking in concert with the people. That loud blasting music is audible activity while the state is flying via Alaska Airlines, and the amplified audible activity is the state amplifying the sound of that plane while it's flying over with an Amazon Prime logo on it. It is 10:34 a.m. That's Amtrak. That's P.O.C. AUDSB 713. Okay, so the state is providing a microphone. That's amplification, as I refer to it, providing a microphone to the sound of traffic. And this is what the state was doing inside of my jail cell while I was kidnapped by the state. The exact same conduct. The sound of these psychopaths in their cars. 95737B2, 5LBP011, 9761783, 8TIL569, 8PRG653. 8KGA 560, 8FRC 521, 45005Y1, 8VGY 320, 8HSU 706, 8TJK 930, 5K DV019. This is exactly what the state was doing while I was kidnapped inside of the jail of West Valley, located in 9500 Etowanda Avenue, where you will never hear any traffic inside of any of those jail cells. The state was amplifying the artificial sound, artificial activity, just like you hear that amplification. It's artificial activity. While you're looking at a car in front of you and the state is literally playing a tape of noise. And it's supposed to be a sign. Just like you're looking at what is a light source over my head and you're supposed to assume that that's the sun. And all you got to do is pay attention. That's not the sun. That's a light source, which is over my head right now. And you have that's exactly what the state was doing inside of that jail cell. And that's a violation of Title 15 Code of Regulations and in violation of PREA, the Prison Rape Elimination Act, while the state was molesting my person, engaging in surveillance and monitoring conduct in concert with the inmates, while the state was present, engaging in the same surveillance and group stalking while it was kidnapping me in violation of 18 U.S.C. Section 2261A because they want to continue monitoring and they want to stop me from documenting it. So I want to be clear, that same amplification, that's what the state was filling my cell with. All right, so this is the exact same pattern of conduct. The San Bernardino Sheriff's Department engaging in federal stalking. All right, while they're claiming a fake warrant. Amazon Prime crossing path under the fake sun. License 77405N2. Using their planes and their vehicles. Well, let me pick that up. It is 10:43 a.m. All right, I just wanted to capture what was, as I recited the license plate of Amazon Prime driving by, at the same time that Amazon Prime is flying over, while the state's fake sun is over the exact same sidewalk, by the way, that I documented Amazon Prime flying over my head as I'm entering inside of the T-Mobile, which I documented that incident as I was coming from Economy Inn, and the fake sun was over that address for the duration of the day, and then proceeds to remain north inside of the vehicle window. All right, keeping in stride with me in the vehicle as we go from Economy Inn to the T-Mobile and over at the same sidewalk. And this is well into the afternoon. And this morning at 10:44, this is what I'm capturing, the same exact sidewalk, same exact location. And Amazon Prime is intentionally engaging in this, what is terrorism, using their vehicle, and this is what I mean by it. But anyway, all I'm going to do is document it. And this is, again, flying over me, driving by. That's called relevant positioning, with ongoing knowledge of that documentation in the environment that the state is creating. And this same environment ongoing while I was kidnapped by the state. And that's exactly what I was documenting. While the state was maintaining artificial activity inside of my cell. Noise that you cannot hear inside of that high security facility that is built with concrete, brick, insulated with paint, bulletproof glass. And yet the state is filling my cell with the sound of what are inmates talking. Loud sound of talking. People that you're hearing talking in the cell, people that you're hearing singing in the cell. And I just want to be clear, that's not how that facility is built. And not only that, the state is amplifying the sound of what is the sound of traffic. Just like you hear out here, the state was creating this audible activity inside of my cell, inside of 3 3E14. This is exactly what I was documenting on the cameras as it was occurring. So the state sounding the sound of sirens inside of my cell, inside of 3E14. The state sounding the sound of helicopter activity inside of my cell in 3E14 while I was kidnapped by the state. You are not going to hear any of that, first of all. Second of all, that is the state's pattern of conduct. And it is terrorism while the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department was engaging in federal stalking, kidnapping, all right, and doing so in concert with the people of the state. Stalking with light, license plate, 80460G2. It's 10:47 a.m. 6TYC136, BR03J85, that's a paper plate. And again, I'm at State Facilitating Venue of the United States Post Office. This is where I'm across at 123 Hope Boulevard. I'm standing on the sidewalk of Rich's Second Jewelry and Loan, a third-party facilitating venue. And this is the impossible light activity while they are patrolling in traffic. That's exactly why I stand around documenting the entity, because they're engaging in that together. 8K34538, 5KLV492, 71173H1, 7AOX276. 6M92066, AD55985, a U-Haul, 7KPH529, 39063S1, 5LFD800, 4WON432, using her hazards. And this is formed because she's coming to pick me up and she's engaging in the state's criminal pattern of conduct. It's 10:56 a.m. That's P.O.C. All right, license plate BL32G89, paper plate, patrolling past with audible activity of a motorcycle that's amplified, 6YUP239. They're monitoring at the Starbucks, which is what I just showed in video, and I also showed what is the state aiming directed light on me in the back seat of the car while I'm reaching in to get my property, and you see my shadow appearing where the fake sun is over my head. That is no sort of light activity that is occurring from the sun. That is exactly what the state is doing inside of every venue where I'm located. Okay, which, by the way, this is what I was pointing out in the video. The state's fake sun is over the Starbucks again, 706 West Holt, after, first of all, remaining over the intersection of Euclid and Holt. But second of all, at the same time, this time yesterday, if you're just looking at the immediate documentation, but the totality of documentation is showing what the state is engaging in, which is stalking with light. The state's fake sun present, thank you. At the same time, at 646 West Holt Boulevard, as I'm exiting that venue after leaving Starbucks, and the state's fake sun is no longer over that venue. As I'm across the street and I'm showing you that crazy light activity while they're in the drive-through lane, the state's fake sun is over me at that intersection of San Antonio and Holt. State's fake sun is no longer over the building. You see it over the building as I am here in alignment to me. Okay, that's the clear evidence that you'll see with your own eyes. This is the state's stalking with light. It's demonic. It's serving the criminal purpose of federal stalking. They're monitoring with communication devices. They're monitoring on the venue of the internet. They are engaging in sexual violence as they are engaging in the criminal pattern of conduct of federal stalking. They are engaging in what is also terrorism as they are engaging in what is demonic conduct as they are stalking with light, stalking as a gang. All right, and this is an unprecedented size of a gang. This is the people of the state of California that is a gang. This is the government that is acting as a gang that is engaging in this stalking conduct. That's an unlawful threat by an entity, the gang, that is engaging in stalking and monitoring with communication devices. That is terrorism, terrorizing an American citizen, right? While they are stalking with their light, their demented aspects of conduct, stalking with noise, stalking with light, and stalking as a gang, okay? This is organized stalking by a government. They're not acting as individuals. One demon can flee as they're engaging in the criminal pattern of conduct, and another one that's engaging in the criminal pattern of conduct is documented. Nobody's getting away with anything. And that's how you document an entity that's engaging in all of that criminal activity together while they're wearing any company brand, including Amazon Prime, including Starbucks, including Omnitrans, including Delta Airlines, including Alaska Airlines. You can go down the list. This is how you are identifying what is conduct of an entity that has also engaged in kidnapping. Understand, the people of the state are fully engaged in kidnapping, not only based on their acts of criminal summoning, but engaged also not only based on their acts of criminal facilitation, engaging in the criminal monitoring conduct while I'm kidnapped in the state facilities. But you're talking about the investment of the people that are acting in concert with the entity. They are fully invested in kidnapping in order to keep this criminal system concealed, which it's not kept concealed. It's already been exposed. But in addition, you are looking at what is the creation of policy while that entity engages in that ongoing criminal activity, and you're understanding how it operates. You're understanding what demonic activity looks like. You're looking at what are psychopaths who have yet to be prosecuted as the demented actors that they are. And you're understanding what a sex offender looks like, and it's not what you think it is. You're looking at what a criminal looks like, and it's not what you think it is. All right? This is a criminal pattern of conduct which is rooted in its public corruption, and it is rooted in demonic impression operating over the entire entity. That's what's wrong with the Ontario Police Department. That's what's wrong with the Ontario Fire Department. That's what's wrong with the American Medical Response driving those ambulances. All right? And this is not isolated to Ontario or San Bernardino County. The exact same pattern of conduct documented in Riverside County, documented in Los Angeles County, documented in Orange County. It is 11:27 a.m. and that is the state's fake sun. That is now west again, while at the same time at the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library 24 hours earlier, you're clearly looking at it as I go toward that venue and as I remain at that venue, and then as I exit after 6 p.m. and the state's fake sun is east of this location after I captured it, west of that library. In the evening, it is east of Starbucks to remain over that venue, okay? That's the blatant stalking with light conduct. It's entirely demonic. And that's what Ontario police officers S.I.I.S, officer number 19945 was engaging in. Federal stalking, sexual violence, terrorism, and criminal facilitation of all of the above. That's what Ontario officer, she's identifying herself as Stratis, and she provided her number 19953, I believe. I recorded it. And you have what is the officer, the white officer, all of those vehicles and license plates documented, acting with the people of the state. That's exactly what they were engaging in while the state was maintaining this environment over there, and they are loitering in relevant position. Okay, monitoring and engaging in criminal facilitation of the above. That's exactly what I documented while my shadow was surrounding, while the state's fake sun is remaining and moving as I move. That's P.O.C. It's 11:28 a.m. Alrighty, I want to document the ongoing sexual violence. You have an employee that enters into the restroom. It's 11:33 a.m. when you'll see that employee enter in the restroom. That is the form. Okay, there is no form. That is the form under which they are using the bathroom. They enter in, you hear the door close, and possible light activity on the bookshelf area at the north end of the Starbucks where they keep the coffee grinds built up. There's light activity above that. It's in relevant position to the bathroom door. And my shadow appears as I walk to the bathroom. That same light activity that I captured in the hallway while I'm walking to the bathroom, and the ongoing amplification of artificial activity inside of the bathroom. This is sexual violence at 706 West Hall, fake sun clearly over the venue. Light activity documented. This is P.O.C. and they're engaging as the sex offender, okay, while they are stalking in the bathroom. That's P.O.C. It's 11:35 a.m. All right, I am referencing the security cameras inside of Starbucks located at 706 West Hall, but I want to document it on the podcast. This is real-time documentation, cooperative documentation. The third parties that you see enter the venue, first of all, they're all standing in relevant position inside of the cafe, all right? Third parties enter in, standing at the register. It's a heavy-set Latino male with a button-down shirt, a short-cut dark hair. Another one with a light blue mask on, and two other ones, a female carrying a small backpack with a spaghetti strap on. She's got glasses on, with a heavy-set Latino male with curly top and a black mask on his face, a burgundy-colored top. They enter. The state is applying a microphone to the sound of audible activity of traffic. This is how the people act together. They enter in while the state aims its light, just like as they drive past and the state aims its light. They enter in and the state is amplifying the sound of a substantially loud, audible activity while these demon-possessed stalkers enter inside of the venue under the fake sun, all right? And you're looking at them on camera engaging in federal stalking. And this is while they are surrounded by the carnival of lights, that light activity maintains, all right? And that was also what was ongoing while I was in the bathroom, and they're engaging in relevant positioning inside of the venue. And I want to be clear as to the audible activity and the light activity that is coinciding with their presence standing around waiting for coffee while they're stalking with activity and engaging in patrolling systematically, because that's what they're doing. That's 11:44 a.m. and that's what I reference on the camera. That's a demon. That's demon possession, and all they're doing is monitoring right now. It's P.O.C. Uh, 8JOM 802, that's stalking with audible activity. Again, 7EHE340, that's the Camry. The male that I documented on video, I got him on video. I'm sorry, I already documented that license plate, 98989R2. Okay, coming right now. 8BZS286, 8WPL138. It is 12:56 p.m. and what I'm capturing is the state's light source that is over the parking lot of 706 West Holt Boulevard. And it's again supposed to be supposedly, as you clearly can. It's not supposedly, because I clearly captured the state's light source east of this location over 215 E.C. Street, where I'm there all day. So as I go west of that address to the Starbucks, the state's light source is here. Okay, that's not the sun. As I've already established, I'm showing you what is criminal activity at Starbucks, a facilitating venue, and they're engaging in that on the surveillance cameras, which I also reference. And you have the impossibility of the state's light source that I've documented here at this same venue, 6 o'clock in the evening, where the light source has remained. You have what is the impossibility of the actual light source ever being over the Ontario Police Department. I mean, not the light source, the sun. Because while I'm here at 11 o'clock, after 11 a.m., you have the state's light source, which is over me at Stater Brothers at 646 West Holt, right over my head, right over while I'm getting in the car. Okay? But I'm capturing at the same time over the Ontario Police Department. Okay, that's federal stalking with light. Same with today over 706 West Holt Boulevard. And I'm standing in front of the venue, where at the same time I'm at the Ontario Police Department at 2500 South Archibald, and that light source is directly over my head. That is stalking with light, that's monitoring. That's P.O.C. And this is audible activity inside of the vehicle under the fake sun. That's systematic monitoring conduct. It is 12:58 p.m. I know, I'm getting this license plate real quick. License 8PVY805. They're patrolling in the side alley beside the Starbucks as I'm in the vehicle in motion. That's the same crossing and path. They're using their vehicles to patrol. All right, and I also want to get license 6CKMM12. That's your cut, huh? 7AUS 141. 5YUM 617, 7JCN 576. And the state's fake sun no longer over the parking lot of 706 West Holt. It is over the windshield of the vehicle that I'm inside of. 12:59 p.m.
Okay, so I'm just showing what is the real-time movement of the state's fake sun remaining literally in the window and the windshield of the vehicle as I leave 706 West Holt. Omnitrans engaging in P.O.C. Remaining in position at their bus stop, using their hazards as light activity, while the state's fake sun is captured in video and real-time movement, keeping that central position in the window as I am in transit from 706 West Holt to 215 East C Street. All right, where the state's fake sun was not even in this direction as I'm standing at the intersection of Holt and Euclid this morning, where the state's fake sun was not even in the direction of 706 West Holt while I'm standing at that intersection this morning, whereas seconds later, when I'm driven down the street, the state's light source is directly over that venue, over the parking lot as I exit that venue, which is remaining for the duration of my stay, and headed east backwards toward 215 East C Street as I am transported to that location, which is east of the Starbucks where it was just captured clearly over my head at the parking lot. Okay, that is the federal stalking conduct of the state, acting in concert with the people of the state. All right, so that is the mutual presence, and I put that in air quotes. All right, the mutual presence of this light source at that central location remaining at both venues for the duration of the day. Right, and so in reality what the state is doing is moving in real time as I move where I go, stalking with light because monitoring is underway. And that is exactly what the Ontario Police Department were engaging in as I captured it this morning again, which is an unlawful threat. While you're engaging in that conduct, that's called terrorism, stalking with the fake sun, in addition to the state's directed light activity, which exists inside of all of the venues that I document, and it exists outside while I am traveling and documenting anywhere. All right, it is 1:04 p.m. All right, and what I captured on video is the state maintaining its light source over my head while I'm in motion in the vehicle. All right, and let me show you where it is right now, where I'm standing in front of 215 East C Street. All right, I just captured that video just so that you can see the placement of the state's light source. You even looking at on the video while I am en route, in motion, you're looking at that light source moving in real time, and it is necessarily moving as that hovering light source is maintaining that central presence in the window of the vehicle that I'm being transported in. All right, doing so, going back to the same intersection that it was at 9 o'clock this morning. All right, and traveling east from the location of 706 West Holt. All right, and this is the remaining over that same location, never ever able to coexist in reality with this being the actual sun that's captured over to 2500, Archibald Avenue, which is the Ontario Police Department, and the Ontario Police engaging in federal stalking and criminal facilitation of federal stalking, sexual violation. All right, you're molesting with the state that's aiming this light that is unnaturally occurring for a criminal purpose, serving to the detriment of the target individual, while you are also aware that documentation that's being published about your criminal activity. All right, and doing so in concert with the people of the state, that's those officers that also engaged in kidnapping, and this same agency engaged in repeated acts of kidnapping while federal stalking is underway under a fake sun, an entirely fake sun, which is incontrovertible, irreducible direct evidence against the people of the state, and that ongoing evidence against those agencies, which shall be prosecuted under each and every one of those criminal acts that they're engaging in that I just mentioned. It is 1:09 p.m. the state's fake sun over 215 East C Street. And that's what you're looking at with your very own eyes. That's P.O.C. What you will recall is the state placing its fake sun at both the entrance and the exit. I'm sorry, both the entrance and the back of the library. So when I walk to the back, you're talking about at 10:30 a.m., but yet you're seeing the fake sun nowhere even in that direction. You're seeing the state keeping its directed light over the elevator, the stairway, while at the same time I'm at the Starbucks, which is clearly over my head in the parking lot, but you're looking at what is the state maintaining, what is directed light in the venue. That's the directed light. That's the same directed light that creates the double shadows that I'm showing you on the streets, that I'm showing you inside of the venues, and that is what is present, and that is why it is also in conflict with what the state is doing with its light source. The actual sun is not hovering over buildings like that, not aiming under shaded areas, and also not moving to the front and back of buildings, even in real time. The state's fake sun is not moving east and west and north and south, remaining over your head everywhere that you go. It is certainly not doing that with third parties. All right, they are engaging in federal stalking. And this is a facilitating venue that is engaging in federal stalking inside of the venue. All right, so you're subject to that criminal pattern of conduct inside of the venue. That's why that environment is being maintained. That's called maintaining that bubble. Or that light is maintained, that audible activity is maintained, that ongoing demonic behavioral pattern of stalking with noise is ongoing. And that's what the people do. It is 1:10 p.m. Alrighty, you are looking at images of third-party group stalkers and witnessing those who are engaged in demonic conduct of stalking with noise. So you're looking at the third party, the African-American male. He's sitting at the desk. He is hitting on the desk with simultaneity to my operation of my communication device. The state's fake sun is over the venue. Directed light is being aimed inside of the venue over the staircase as I'm walking around. Directed light inside of the building as I've shown you with the multiple shadows inside. This is P.O.C. and it's demonic activity. You are witnessing the third party group stalker who was seen holding books. He is slamming them on the bookcase. This is audible activity creation with simultaneity to my operation of my communication device as I'm operating my podcast and uploading audio documentation, He's using that as his outward appearance, what he's using as a means of stalking with audible activity, which is the demonic behavioral pattern. And this is the ongoing conduct under the fake sun in the directed light that fills this up a venue. It's 1:14 p.m. and that's what I'm taking pictures of. That's P.O.C. Alrighty, it is 4:11 p.m. and I captured video upon my exit at 4 p.m. I exited actually about maybe 60 seconds before 4 p.m., but I wanted to wait until 4 p.m. on the dot. And that's just because I am making a point with regard to my documentation of what the state is doing, which is stalking with light, and reminding you of the places that I am at the same exact time, and you are looking at what is the position of a light source that is maintaining central presence
above me and above the location where I am at. And that's what I captured in video, speaking specifically about, and it's not isolated in any way because the big picture is already established. I am focusing in on the state that is engaging in ongoing kidnapping because they are going to federal prison. And so the state is stalking with light because the people of the state of California are monitoring, all right? And this is direct evidence against the people of the state. This is not limited to state facilitating venues. This is speaking to what is public corruption. This is why the state's fake son is positioned over the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department at West Valley, located at 9500 Etiwanda Avenue, while I am kidnapped on June 18, 2021, and the Ontario police are taking the freeway to get to from the Ontario Museum of History and Arts to the Ontario Police Department at 2500 South Archibald Avenue. The state's fake son remaining over that police vehicle that was driven by S. Patty, officer number 19945. State's fake son did not remain over the museum that day. The state's fake son remained over that vehicle as S. Patty was engaging in federal stalking with the people of the state of California, and the state's light source remained over that vehicle, and she was monitoring in violation of 18 U.S.C. section 2261A, both subsections 1 and 2, as she is engaging in that criminal activity in concert with the people of the state. All right, and she's doing so on the highways and the freeways and the streets using a vehicle in transit, monitoring with the very people of the state. She's in violation of federal law, in addition to engaging in obstruction of justice, as she is actively engaging in kidnapping one who she is engaging in federal stalking and monitoring. And so this is what is occurring, and the fake son does not remain over the Ontario Museum of History and Art. It remains over that police vehicle, vehicle number 1830, and vehicle, I believe it was, I want to say 1011 or 1018. I documented it specifically, and I'm also going to publish that with regard to the ongoing kidnapping conduct by the state, the vehicle numbers that those officers were driving on that day. And the state's fake son remained over that police vehicle that S. Patty was driving to the police station. The state's fake son remained over that police station on June 18th while they were kidnapping me there. And the state's fake son remained over that police vehicle that was driven by an officer that told me her name was Valero. It's a female, a Latina female. Her name was Valero. Her audible activity included criminal defamation in concert with the medical workers and the, no, it's just the medical workers. Her audible activity is that of criminal defamation, while the fake son is over the parking lot of West Valley. And I arrive at West Valley at around 11 a.m., and the state's fake son is over the parking lot, okay? So I'm getting to what you're hearing is amplified audible activity. I'm going to get to that right now as the P.O.C. Continued right now as upon exit from the video that you're seeing at 4 p.m. on the dot. Okay, but I am making my point with regard to what the police are engaging in. These are state actors, and so you have what is the movement of the state's fake son over the vehicle while I'm driven from the Ontario Police Department located at 2500 South Archibald Avenue, when I am arriving at around 9:30 a.m., 9 a.m., because I'm arrested literally on June 18th when I captured the video of the helicopter flying over the museum. Sirens immediately sound as I press stop recording that video. It's S. Patty, and she tells me her name is Stratis this morning. And so Officer Stratis arrive at my sleeping bag immediately. S. Patty arrives by herself. Understand, the officers they were already present, okay? They're monitoring under the fake sun that's there at 7:30 in the morning. I'm capturing video of the city of Ontario engaging in federal stalking. They engage in criminal summoning. The state flies over in a helicopter. The state's directed light is clearly documented as well. Ontario police immediately sound sirens, and then S. Patty is crossing path. I am encountering her, and she is standing in front of me, and she immediately escalates the situation, and I mean, she's pouncing like an animal, like a wild animal. And these are demon-possessed individuals, okay? And she literally was like all over me, and I'm laying down in a sleeping bag. She's acting like I'm holding a gun to her head, and these are demon-possessed individuals. And so my point is that they are actually very fearful of what they know is coming, which is a prosecution in federal prison. Every word that I utter, understand, they're listening to it, and they are desperately trying to stop it. This is what kidnapping has failed to accomplish, and they're intensifying that, which understand, demon possession is no competition for that which has already been decreed. They are going to federal prison. I am documenting the state because they are not escaping that prosecution, okay? And I am showing the totality of a state system, that which is comprehensive public corruption, every single aspect, every level of government. And that is where that pattern of conduct of federal stalking is underway. There is no presumption of legitimacy. I am showing you public corruption inside and out, from the court to the sheriff to the police to the very people of the state. It's an ongoing, ceaseless operation of that system. And that's what my documentation is showing. And so what you have are the police officers that literally they pounce on me, and they intentionally do not give me my shoes. Okay, I have to walk from my sleeping bag to their police vehicle under the fake sun. They're touching all over me. These are demon-possessed stalkers. They're sex offenders. They're terrorists, and they're touching all over you, which is an assault and battery by those who are engaging in ceaseless stalking. This is the sex offender that's kidnapping you, in other words. Okay, wearing a police uniform, and you have what is and doing it under the guise of the power of the law when they are in opposition of the law. Okay, and so I want to be clear. 4 p.m. And this is my bottom line. This is my point. 4 p.m. the state's fake son, as I'm released from kidnapping on August 16th, 2020. The state's fake son is documented while I'm kidnapped over the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court as of 7 a.m. when I'm transported from the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, West Valley, located at 9500 Etijuana Avenue. The state keeping its fake son over that venue where I am. The state maintaining directed light inside of that venue where I am, being kept kidnapped. Monitoring underway ceaselessly. Okay? State's fake son was not over the museum. Okay? The state doesn't have a whole, well, actually, I am not, I am the only one that I know that is being monitored. All right? I am speaking to policy to be created in order to, whoever they are, to be able to enforce their rights. What I was about to say, and that's why I'm taking caution, because this is a light source in the sky. This is a fake sun. I mean, there's no other way to term it. It's a fake sun. You can refer to it as a light source because that's what it is. The state is engaging in the criminal elements of monitoring perpetual light via a fake sun during the day. Okay, and this is that which is not present over the museum where I'm at. It's over the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, over the building, because I'm looking at it in the parking lot. I'm looking at it while S. Patty is driving me in her police vehicle. I'm looking at it while Valero is driving me to the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department at West Valley. I'm looking at the fake sun that's remaining literally on the side of the vehicle that I'm sitting on, aiming directed light at an angle inside of the vehicle. Okay? They're monitoring, and it's entirely demonic. Okay? And so at 4 p.m. on August 16th, this is what I mean, ongoing following with this light source. And all you have to do is pay attention to the environment, and you see what is absolutely ridiculous light activity that is in no way naturally occurring under what is a fake sun. Okay? So at 4 p.m. on August 17th, on August 18th, I have returned to the Ontario Police Department twice. Okay? And I documented this on video. And so that you can see it for yourself. And you have what is, in addition to the state's fake sun remaining over the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court, because that's exactly what I documented. The state's fake sun over the basement. There's a pathway that you drive down to get to the basement, and that's how they transfer the inmates into the basement of the court, into the cells. All right. And then you take an elevator to get up to the courtrooms, and then you're in those cells, and then they pull you out. All right, but that very seldom happened to me because they were engaging in a fictitious prosecution, and very often I wasn't even allowed to enter the courtroom in order to see the faces of the demon-possessed state actors who were entertaining a fictitious prosecution. They wanted to keep me in the cell, okay, and then tell me about it later. Okay, so anyway, which is audible activity, which is also unlawful. It's an ongoing threat while you're referencing with your audible activity a fictitious prosecution. You're engaging in kidnapping. And it is also a defamatory purpose, all right? So all of that is the ongoing analysis of everything that I experienced and documented. And the state's fake sun has been documented remaining over the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court at 8303 Haven Avenue, okay? And that's while I'm kidnapped, and I'm there, and I'm looking at the state's fake sun that's over the van that the Sheriff's Department is driving me in, over the bus that the Sheriff's Department is driving me in, and molesting my person with directed light as it is aiming directed light at a downward angle through metal mesh at the top of the bus, and this directed light is moving all around on the bus while the inmates are maintaining audible activity. Demon-possessed, the people of the state of California, demon-possessed actors monitoring the inmates. They represent the people of the state. The pattern of conduct did not stop, okay? It was ceaselessly underway. The state was maintaining its directed light. The state was maintaining its audible activity. I mean, replete with the sound of sirens and helicopters in my cell. Just like you hear out, just like I'm capturing on video, that's what the state was doing while it was kidnapping me, okay? And you have what is the state's fake sun over this entrance today, August 29, 2020, which I'm capturing at 4 p.m. And I'm punctuating a point. The state's fake sun remained over the courthouse while I was kidnapped by those state actors of the court, kidnapped by the Ontario Police Department, because they're not separate. Because they dropped me off with the sheriff. Understand, I was documenting the Ontario Police Department engaging in kidnapping. They're being prosecuted for that entire criminal act that did not stop, okay? So you have what is the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court engaging in kidnapping. The state's fake sun remaining, going from the West Valley to the courthouse as they drive me to and fro, just like you see while I'm in Tracy Banks' vehicle, just like you see while I'm on Omnitrans, just like you saw while I'm on Metrolink, and the state is keeping its fake sun over that vehicle that I'm on. That's exactly what the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department were engaged in, the Ontario Police Department were engaged in, and the state's fake sun is over the entrance of the Ontario Over Family Community Library at 4 p.m. today. The state's fake sun over the Ontario Police Department as I am arriving to pick up my property, and you see this at August 17th, August 18th, on more than one occasion, and and that's what I mean, on more than one occasion, August 17th and August 18th, and you're looking at it with your own eyes. There is no mistake about the fact that this is a light source that the state is stalking with, and it is not both over my head, and let's just say there's a twin that I have, and over my head at 2500 South Archibald Avenue. That is not the sun that is engaging in that. The sun is a literal object, a star, that is in, first of all, constant movement, rising in the east and setting in the west, and that does not mean rising on the east side of the museum and moving north and south on the museum grounds as I move to remain in alignment with me, and then moving north and south up Euclid Avenue while maintaining a negligible, essentially non-movement, but just creeping across the same street for the duration of the day, whatever building I stay at, on the same street. That's what the state is doing with light. That is not the sun, okay? And this is also the light activity that I'm showing you, that while the state is surrounding with light, understand this is monitoring conduct. It is demonic as well, okay? This same demon possession, the Ontario Police Department, they are sick with it. It is diseased. This is an epidemic with regard to the condition of these law enforcement actors. All right, this is corruption, and it is caused by what is demon possession. That is what I am exposing, in addition to the fact that the state of California, a public entity, is engaging in federal stalking. And understand that for purposes of prosecution and advocating on behalf of the ordinary targeted individual, which is without recourse, okay, who is helpless, who has no idea how to even approach and can't talk to anybody. Everyone is poised to defame one who is being monitored by the state. Understanding that situation, understanding the environment that you have seen with your own eyes as I'm describing it, understanding the stalking conduct by the state that you have seen with your own eyes as I am describing it and documenting it, understanding the kidnapping conduct by the state that has no law on its side while it is engaging in criminal activity. You are understanding this. That is terrorism. In addition to what is federal stalking, in addition to what is criminal obstruction of justice. That is what the policy that I advocate, that as a matter of justice shall be enforced against the state, okay? The ordinary targeted individual is to be armed with the ability to enforce their rights to the nth degree. The government shall not in any way get away with engaging in this sort of terrorism of an American citizen, which is also at the same time simultaneously an unprecedented level of a gang sexually violent monitoring conduct, all right? While they are stalking with noise, that's straight out of hell. Stalking with light, that's straight out of hell. Stalking as a group, as an entity, that is straight out of hell. Demons act as a pack, okay? What you are looking at is opening up your mind. They are demons that are dressed as police officers. They are demons that are dressed as the people of the state of California, doing whatever they do as their job or wherever it is that they live, where that ongoing environment, which is straight from hell, serving a criminal purpose, is present for their criminal activity, okay? 4:26 p.m. and that's the state's fake sun that was over the entrance of the library after traveling east to remain over me to from 706 West Holt Boulevard and from 646 West Holt Boulevard. Documented both of those venues where the state's fake sun is present at that same time early in the morning. All right. This is the pattern of conduct, and that is what federal stalking is. The criminal pattern of conduct is demonic. It is revealing what is demonic activity. These are psychopaths. Okay, and being prosecuted for this crime, which is operated by an entity, it immediately and it is axiomatic that the state of mind is immediately brought into question. Okay, documentation establishing the pattern of conduct is in no way presenting any question about the targeted individual. To the contrary, all right. And this is what I'm saying. This is the beauty of documentation. While the government wants to defame and dismiss documentation, which is direct evidence, it actually, the way that the law works and the way what logically follows is where you are establishing that pattern of conduct, that is suggesting absolutely nothing about the mindset other than the fact that they have the presence of mind and the intelligence and the wherewithal to document it. That's all that it's revealing. Genius. Okay, protecting your own interests, advocating on your own behalf, which the target individual is forced to do because a government is engaging in criminal activity. All right, and so you have what is immediately going to be, as a matter of prosecution, bringing into the state of mind of those documented actors, because it is revealing what is demonic possession. It is revealing what are psychopaths, and that's based on the criminal pattern of conduct that is ceaselessly underway, indiscriminate, regardless of any company brand you are using as the guise under which the elements are underway, regardless of any position that you are maintaining as a state actor or a third party, as the criminal elements of monitoring are underway, which are also demonic, speaking to your status, which is demon possession, because it is a demonic system. The very pattern of conduct that you are participating in is revealing the fact that you are by necessity a psychopath. If you don't want to, and this is malice, okay? If you don't want to address demon possession, I'm letting you know that's what it is. If you don't want to address that, understand these are psychopaths that are engaging in malicious conduct on a systematic basis. All right? 4:28 p.m. and you'll see that video for yourself. 4 p.m. as I exit. That is P.O.C. The state is patrolling in direct alignment with me where I'm sitting underneath the shaded walkway next to the entrance of the Page One Cafe. This is the back side of the library where the state placed its fake sun at 10:30 a.m. That I captured after I entered, and the state's fake sun was right next to the front entrance, where you're seeing the state's fake sun right in front of the entrance again at 4 p.m. I am sitting at the back end of the library, and the state is flying in direct alignment. So I see it right here flying over the Ontario Senior Center right in front of me, making a U-turn in the sky in alignment. All right, and doing so as I begin to press record, as I start to document that sound of what is amplified plane activity. I've already established that the state is stalking in airplanes, and the state is doing it with the people of the state who are using their brands to provide instrumentalities of federal stalking to the state. 4:34 p.m. $4:36 p.m. Flying over the same sky space right here in front of me. That's the exact same state activity. The state is creating what is artificially created sound of a train, which, as I'm sitting underneath the side of the Ontario Femme Community Library, you are not actually hearing any Amtrak or any other train at this distance. In addition to the sound of traffic, which is supposed to be coming from Euclid Avenue, okay? You're hearing loud traffic, and it gets louder. That's the demonic behavioral pattern. As I speak to what is the ongoing activity creation, because that's what it is, the state creating that same train activity while I'm inside of the car at 630 North Fern. You're not hearing it there either, okay? That's P.O.C., and that's the same as the state creating plane activity, all right? And by what I mean by you're not hearing it, meaning that is the same indication of the state's pattern of conduct, and it's demonic, okay? Surrounding with light, a fake sun and directed light, that's demonic. Stalking with audible activity that you are not naturally hearing in order to stalk with noise, in order to maintain audible activity, that's demonic, okay? And that's Amtrak, because that's the guise under which that activity is created. And that's Amtrak being prosecuted for terrorism, okay? That's P.O.C. It's 4:41 p.m. and it's the same thing with the people. All right. The people of the state of California are providing the guise under which, and there is no guise. You are dissecting that environment that is absolutely unnatural. All right. And you are talking about what is terrorism by the people of the state of California because the people are acting in concert with that entity. All right. That's P.O.C. 4:41 p.m. Okay, group stalker goes to sit on the bench in front of 280 North Lemon Apartments, and the state is flying over in an airplane. Alrighty. 4:45 p.m. That's an all-white commercial-sized airplane flying over the 280 North Lemon Apartments, flying over the senior center right in front of me, while this group stalker takes their seat right in alignment to me, under the state's fake sun. Another group stalker sitting on the bench by the city hall. They're maintaining presence and acting with the state that's creating ongoing activity. The P.O.C. All right, 5:09 p.m. What's this, helicopter activity? I am uploading video 2021-829_16-00002. In other words, that's the one from August 29, 2021 at 4 p.m. on the dot. That's what I'm uploading, and the state is sounding helicopter activity. P.O.C. Flying over 280 North Lemon Apartments, and that's amplification. That is turned up loud in volumes in order for monitoring. And it's flying right here in relevant position to me at 5:47 p.m. That is amplification of sirens, rapidly changing in volume from up and down, starting really loud, going down low. This is amplification, and the sound is surrounding, okay? This is the state amplifying noise. $5:51 p.m. And that amplification of state activity is under the guise of the Ontario Fire Department engaging in terrorism. And they're engaging in monitoring, right? But this is terrorism by the Ontario Fire Department. That's the guise under which the state is stalking and maintaining audible activity for purposes of criminal monitoring. 5:52 p.m. And that is called the amplification of the people of the state of California, the guise under which the state is creating audible activity to monitor via communication devices and to stalk with that noise, that method of noise maintenance. And that is under the guise of the people of the state. The state is amplifying, and that's supposed to be coming from Euclid Avenue. It's echoic, it's reverberating, and it is pursuant to the same demonic behavioral pattern. It is from Euclid, and yet it's competing with my voice while I'm talking on my phone. That's amplification. That's P.O.C. And that is demonic activity. That's terrorism by the people. 5:54 p.m. Okay, that's audible activity, and I want to be clear, it's reverberating in sound, so that's surrounding, just like the sirens. They're not coming from a distinct place. The sound is surrounding, okay? And that is, this is under the guise, this is supposedly coming from Euclid Avenue, all right? And I want to be clear, it's echoic. I'm sitting, again, by the Page One Cafe, facing the senior center. That's P.O.C. All right? That's what the state is doing at the museum as well. That's what the state is doing in the bathroom. That's what the state was doing inside of Economy Inn. That's what the state was doing inside of my cell while I was kidnapped at 9500 Etiwanda Avenue at West Valley. That's P.O.C., and that's plain activity. So you're talking about ongoing maintenance of audible activity. This is demonic. Okay? P.O.C.
That is train activity, and no mystery that you will not naturally hear the train while you're sitting outside a Page One Cafe. You're not going to hear a train horn sounding. You're not going to hear the train running on the tracks. That is the exact same state activity. That's the state. Amtrak is engaged in terrorism because that's the guise under which it is ongoing. Right? That's called amplification. All right, the state doing the exact same thing when I'm sitting in the car in front of 630 North Fern Avenue, hearing a train sounding its horn. You're not hearing the Metrolink that's on off of A Street in Upland. You're not hearing the Amtrak train that's back here off of Euclid Avenue either. Inside of the vehicle, outside of Woodside Senior Apartments, inside of that apartment of 51, inside of the vehicle parked in front of 630 North Fern Avenue. And that is not a mystery whatsoever. This is the idiocy, the asininity of the state that's engaging in demonic stalking conduct. 5:59 p.m., that's P.O.C. So the state is vacillating in audible activity from plane activity to the sound of a train running on the tracks. I am sitting outside of the library on the side, looking at directed light that's covering all of the sidewalk in front of me, and I'm sitting beside of the Page One Cafe looking at the Ontario Senior Center. And that's the audible activity the state is creating, as though you can hear the train running on the tracks. That is P.O.C. Third-party group stalkers are walking in the state's directed light, and the state is amplifying plane activity as they are in relevant positions. And these are psychopaths, and all they're doing is monitoring. Be clear, the state's fake sun that I captured at 4 p.m. in front of the entrance, look at the video. That is the exact same position of the fake sun when I exit at 6 p.m. All right, so these third-party group stalkers are monitoring under the state's directed light in relevant position right in front of the Senior Center where you see me taking pictures. Standing in the state's directed light, that's stalking in relevant position. This is exactly what the Ontario Police Department were doing. What is their form? That they're conducting some sort of traffic stop, some sort of search. They are loitering in relevant position, using dogs, using kids, standing in the exact same directed light, standing under the exact same fake sun, okay? While the exact same stalking conduct by the state is underway. P.O.C. at 6:05 p.m. The whistling sound of an approaching plane. That's nothing but amplification. (6:06 p.m.) Flying over the same 280 North Lemon Apartments. They're patrolling. That's called patrolling. That's pacing in an airplane. Okay? That's entirely demonic. The state's fake sun. The directed light, 6:07 p.m. (7:08 p.m.) That's amplified plane activity. The state is flying over another commercial-sized plane right over the 280 North Lemon Apartments in front of me. P.O.C. That is amplification of audible activity using the method of sirens, which are a hallmark of the state's criminal pattern of conduct. They happen so frequently and everywhere that I go that it is identified as the state's hallmark. Okay? And that's P.O.C. That's nothing but audible activity, which is amplified in volume. Everything is amplified. But I just want to be clear, that's just amplified sirens. At 7:31 p.m., the state is monitoring. That is the same volume. The sirens are not going anywhere. Surrounding in sound, just like it surrounds with the fake sun and the directed light. Sirens starting and stopping, starting and stopping. All the state is doing is turning the volume up and down. They're not actually going anywhere. This is the psychopath that I am documenting. The same one that flies in a circle over my head in a helicopter, that paces repeatedly in airplanes, that walks around in a circle or skates around on a skateboard in a circle, or engages in as a group driving around, pacing together as opposed to one, the group together engaging in that conduct, and also walks around in circle light. That's exactly what I document inside of the facility while they're in directed light, those demon-possessed inmates at West Valley. And no exaggeration, it's on the facility cameras, and they're literally engaging in that demonic conduct while I was kidnapped. And that's all the state is doing with the sound of sirens. They're not going anywhere. They're stalking in there, as I have already shown. They are stalking using emergency vehicles, while both amplified sirens and artificially created sound of sirens is used to monitor. Okay? 7:33 p.m., that's P.O.C. All right, it is 7:52 currently. This car is left in the street abandoned with the hazards on. This is providing light activity, and the license plate is 5MCL905. The venue, this is a third-party facilitating venue, Metro 102, and third-party facilitating venue, Ontario Town Square Townhomes. They are all monitoring, okay? And this ongoing stalking with light activity is indicative of that. License plate 6XDN 656. 6XDN 656, 8CVL 684, 7DGR 522. Seven 6747 Apple 1. 4SZG 688. All of traffic that's patrolling. All of traffic in the B&G Plaza, everyone present is monitoring. This is light activity that is maintained as I am walking, as I am in movement. Traffic, understand this is one entity, it's one group, perpetually present, moving in traffic 8SAE135, and that's how you're engaging in light activity as the entity is constantly crossing path using their vehicles. That's light activity. All right, while I'm waiting, I'll go ahead and be productive. 7TPA418. So you're going to pay attention. First of all, I have 3 shadows around me, and there's a third-party group stalker that's walking behind me. He has 3 shadows. That's 6 shadows in 2 bodies, okay? I'm walking, he's walking behind me, 3 shadows each. That's substantial light activity, okay? This is why you document 7TPA418. It's a facilitating venue they're all monitoring. 8MBU106. That Camry is used as a means of light activity. They're stalking with light. License 7BZR645, 8WOD420. That is the sound of the train while I'm walking north up Plum Avenue. 6RZD073. 8BXG865. And while that Camry that I read the license plate is now in motion, headlights on, while the state is amplifying that which is impossible to hear at this location, you're not going to hear the Amtrak train inside of your townhome at Ontario Town Square Townhomes. That's not the audible activity that you're actually experiencing. That's amplification. That's the same state. That light activity is not natural either. 3 shadows around 1 person, 6 shadows as 2 people are walking. That's not natural either. The stalking with light is the people's contribution to that same exact pattern of conduct. 4NHC 969, 7NQP 901, 1213 502, 5U2, excuse me. 8DGU 849, 8EBL 671, 7SJM 084, 7SLS 413. And I want to be clear, you're hearing train activity while I am standing in front of the Ontario Town Square townhomes on the sidewalk, and I am looking at what is B Street. That is the area where the state is amplifying that sound, which you are not going to hear. You're not going to hear that inside there. They didn't build those townhomes so you could be disturbed by a train. That's a public nuisance. That's the state's same conduct with light is what the state does with audible activity. It's absolutely impossible audible activity, and it's ridiculous. It's stalking. It's demonic. Okay, while they do stuff like leave their cars with their hazard lights on to enable everyone else around to monitor, that is a hallmark. That's the stalking with light conduct. That's P.O.C. All right. And so many demons were doing it before I knew I was being monitored. That's why I started documenting it. Everywhere I go, demons would line the street and all of them would turn their hazard lights on. It was the weirdest, freakiest thing ever. That is what they do, and it's demonic. They're stalking with light. License plate 99548B1. 7:57 p.m. All of B&G Plaza is monitoring as I stand here. Okay, they're already in relevant position inside of that plaza. I want you to hear how loud that train is. I'm in front of Ontario Town Square townhomes, in front of apartment number 104. Okay, that's the train activity that the state is asserting that you're hearing at Woodside Senior Apartments. You're hearing that in front of 630 North Fern Avenue. You're hearing that everywhere. Just like the fake sun is everywhere that I'm at. Understand, the stalker is personified through conduct. You see the stalker, the psychopath, through the conduct that they engage in with light, through the conduct that they engage in with audible noise. It's entirely demented. That was a third-party group stalker running past with music playing. That's audible activity as he's crossing past. And again, 3 shadows. So that's P.O.C. right there. Light activity, relevant positioning, audible activity. Uh-oh. Uh, 5JRF 435. 7EWH 864, 8BAM 327, 6PTH 322, 9457 3K1, EPC 119, 8SDK 947, 7EPC 119. 5VUS 658, 7UES 368. Andy's Burgers, located at 310 East Hope Boulevard, is monitoring. It's a third-party facilitating venue. All right, 8TFJ229. All right, hazards on while they are parked in a parking spot. I'll get those demons license plate right now. 6PTH322. They are on the cameras of Andy's Burgers, and again, it's 8 p.m. They are on the cameras of B&G Plaza, because this plaza is armed with surveillance cameras as well. And what you're looking at are, it's called patrolling.
They're like turning around, driving all around in the parking lot using their headlights. They're surrounding, they're like cockroaches. They're just moving all around with their cars, creating light activity. License plate 4YND365. And they are on the cameras of Andy's Burgers. YDW395, 4VHK 457, 7GRA 570. And this license plate, this is the one that's turning, he has his hazards on while he was parked in the spot. He goes one direction, now he's reversing, going back the other. That's called pacing in a car. 4YND365. 8R37256, 5TTD890. Coming to the drive-thru of Andy's Burgers right now, 8WDT448. This one up here is license plate. They're on the cameras inside of Andy's Burgers monitoring, okay? 390LZ, that's a handicap plate. 5VAG284, 7W43479. While these third-party group stalkers are on camera leaving their vehicle, their shadows are moving across the wall of the B&G Plaza on the opposite side. Just like you saw as my shadow was on the wall of Starbucks, they are at a farther distance and their shadows are standing up on the wall. 5YAK643, 7W43479, 7L61797. They're entering inside of Andy's Burgers right now. It is 8:01 p.m. They're all just monitoring. That's all this is. This is entirely demonic activity. SDK 947. Yeah, I read that one. This is the one that was aiming the headlights toward me while I was standing at the intersection at the crosswalk. They were aiming their headlights toward me. 8VXS 746. And now they're doing the same thing at the ice rink in the parking lot. They're monitoring. That's called the stalking with light conduct. This is a pattern. This is what group stalkers do. This is what third parties do. It is 8:02 p.m. That's a red SUV. And the ice skating rink, understand they're all monitoring. I can go over there and get every single last one of those license plates, and I'm tempted to do it. I'm in a particularly energetic mood, especially to prosecute. 7HBS934, 99665Z2. They're all out in the parking lot, looking like they're packing up after having a good old healthy skating rink match, whatever they do in there. They're in relevant position, and this is formed, this is stalking. This is RSHRS2, 8VVX264, 82764D3, 8EBR134, 46583P2, 7VY8271, 6VST092, 8KLV339, 8PCX646, 8SRB819, 7MYE516, 7RTS090, 8CO8304, 8JDG203, F192EO. That's called stalking with activity. As I enter inside of the depths of the parking lot, they're over here in the dark and they start talking. That's called creating audible activity as I'm crossing path. 8AUL060, 7YOT956. They are maintaining relevant positioning as I am walking on Hope Boulevard, as I'm crossing the crosswalk. All right, and I've got 6 shadows, right? They're in relevant position over there. So you're looking at what is positioning. This is monitoring conduct. 7GKH825, 6DRL039. AU62812, that's an out-of-state plate. 6LGG451, 5BWH397, 8SQM678, 8VZC583. I am stalker, don't trip. 5WDP776. You actually are, that's an admission, you ignoramus. I would shut my mouth if I were you. You're a third party, I'd shut up real quick. Real quick. I'd shut up if I were you. You're an ignoramus. 8PCX646, I think I read that one already. 8RZK675, and they're creating light activity as I bend over to get that license plate. These are demons. Engaging in that sarcasm as is audible activity, that's attributed to the whole venue. 7VYA271. Headlights of 6VST092 turn on me as I get that license plate, okay? That's stalking with light conduct. So let me get this third party license plate over here. And that's, again, that's touching. That license plate, this is an old white man with that license plate. I already read it, and he's touching while he's monitoring 8XHM642. All right, he waits until I'm in alignment with him, getting that car, and that's touching. In particular, 6VST092 is touching. Not only with directed light with the state, but with his headlights using his car, and he is monitoring. He's the government that's touching. You're going to prosecute for that. That's license plate. Make sure I get them all, just like you want me to, right? Third parties, I'm going to get them all. HWKYGRL, 7KYZ039, 6GKK572, 60676R2, 7PLU860, 7LBK823, 7DGB441. This is the one that says 8WDP776. Get them all, get them all. 8TCC. Try to block your license plate.
Why are you blowing my license plate?
Because you're in relevant position, bruh.
What?
Oh, okay. That's okay. I'll get it over here. 8TCC. Are you scared of something?
I just want to know why you're
Are you scared of something?
No.
All right, then. Then there's nothing. The last two are 37. Oh, he is tucking and ducking, putting his butt on his license plate. I don't need to tell you why. You're a group stalker. You tell me why there's 3 shadows around on the ground, and I'll let you know why. 7LBK823. Don't trip. I'll get your license plate. 7DGB441. 5VWH397. U392XO. Cracker tweet. U392XO. That's how demons behave, by the way, while they're engaging in stalking conduct. License 7HOS712. Eight SXX062, in case I didn't read that one. 82764D3, I think I read that one. 60676, I think I read that one. 7PLU860. 6GKK, yeah, I read those. Oh my God. All right, let's get this one. That's stalking with activity. Creeping in the dark parking lot, and the state is creating light activity with the flickering light on a building behind this vehicle. That's creeping in the parking lot. License plate 49834 Charlie 1. All right, that turning off the building lights, that's what you saw while I was at Starbucks. And as I aim my camera, the light goes off, right? That's demonic. This is what this is. While these demons are speaking their audible activity, they're going to be prosecuted for that. 502-822. And this little scaredy cat over here, while they're talking a bunch of idle speech and hiding to death, desperate, trying to hide his license plate while he is stalking. That is consciousness of guilt. Because if you've got, and that's the whole basis of federal stalking, you don't have anything to fear. That's why you're not doing anything wrong. You don't even know them, right? I'm not stalking. That's Amtrak, audible activity while he's monitoring, hiding his license plate. Hold on. Oh no, I can't see that. Excuse me? You're really scared, huh? Cracker tweet. You pick one. Cracker tweet. And he is monitoring with his communication device while Amtrak is there as the provision of audible activity. 3WNL161 99665Z2. It's 8:09 p.m. 5XBX732. 6HZY993. 6 6MCS178. And so I want to be clear, this train over here by the Emporia, where the train tracks are, this is the activity that the state is amplifying all the way up to Woodside Senior Apartments. It's literally stupidity, okay? That's the sound that the state is amplifying when I am, well, you're listening, but when I am on the side of the library, that's what the state is amplifying. That sound that I'm over here at by Emporia. Okay, that's called audible activity for those, and this is the ice skating rink in relevant position. This is where the state places its fake sun over it when I walk this route towards Shiro's Liquor. When I walk this route, when I walk Hope Boulevard, state's fake sun does not go over this building, all right? And what is the state doing at nightfall? The state is using directed light. It is 8:12 p.m. And that is the directed light that's back there at the skating rink, what I showed, and I showed you, it's in video, I mean, so you can see that for yourself. And there are 3 shadows all the way around. Group stalker on the license plate that I already recited, and he's on surveillance camera. He's stalking with activity. He walks up to the blue truck to lean on it and starts talking. That's how he's stalking with activity. As I enter the parking lot, I've already described the light activity. This is clearly monitoring, and there is no form. It is 8:12 p.m. All right, I want to get this license plate. In case I didn't. 5 YIK643, 5EG and 274, 8 DOC 861. I believe I read those. All right. And I believe I read this one. If it was parked here already, I don't know. Maybe not. I need to get it because they're touching right now with light while they're stalking in the path. 6XMC443. That's audible activity. And again, this is the people of the state that are stalking in the path. This couple that's touching with light, using their vehicle to touch with light, they're waiting. They sit in the car. They're waiting for me to cross path, okay? Regardless of what direction I go, it's light activity creation. If I walk on the sidewalk where their headlights are aiming, that's touching while you are stalking in the path. 49834 Charlie 1, it's a man and a wife, and they are going inside of Andy's Burgers right now at 8:14 p.m. They're on camera right now. They are monitoring, and that's a sexual offense. You're touching, all right? So you're prosecuting systematically for that, and the target individual just documents it. Every violation of the government while it's engaging in criminal activity as a group, as an entity. License plate. 8TFJ229, I believe I read that one. 8MXH835. And understand, they are all one. So as I'm getting their license plates, this heifer in 8MXH835 is mad because she's a stalker and she's being documented. She understands how it works. It's one entity. So out of her mouth came Cracker Tweet, all right? Out of her mouth, she's the one that's touching. It's all one entity. In directed light and touching more, 6HRX169. Okay? One entity. License plate, 6CZC205. All right, drives forward and reverses for no reason. He's just pacing. Going forward and backward also creates light activity as you go from reverse and whatnot.
All right, but it is the demonic pacing. Imagine in your mind walking forward and walking backwards, walking back and forth. They do this in vehicles, and it also creates light activity. That's the psychopath using a machine to monitor, using a vehicle. It is 8:15 p.m. License 8TPZ 734, 7ZDZ 684, 8TTG 211, 8P12439. You're dealing with a bunch of demons that are going to be put in their place, laughing about that which they're actually very furious about. They don't think it's funny at all. But that's how that's how demons behave, okay? 6HRX169. And part of putting them in their place is prosecuting the hell out of them, okay? And they won't say another word. 7HCM281. You let that prosecution speak. I'm at Shiro's Liquor at 410 East Hole Boulevard. It's 8:16 p.m. Smells like French fries in here. Hello. All right, at 8:21 p.m., as I am standing outside of the Shiro's Liquor, want to document the third party with the license plate 8WXM930 or 830, substantially similar to that. She crosses paths with me, and I specifically mentioned her. I said the heifer is mad because she's a stalker, and I'm documenting her. And she crossed paths. That is the third party that goes to Shiro's Liquor, and I just was documenting that she is seen on camera engaging in the pattern of conduct. I just wanted to note that you are actually visibly seeing her, in addition to I have recited her license plate. She is stalking with activity as she enters the venue. As you enter inside of the store, there's a beep. And so what I was doing is I was in the store and I made a change in direction, an abrupt change in direction, because I changed my mind about something I wanted to do. But long story short, the stalking with activity conduct is pursuant to what I do. So with simultaneity to any new movement, anything that I do, the state engages in the demonic behavioral pattern of stalking with noise. As you enter the store, there is a beeping, okay, as you enter or exit. She enters the store with simultaneity to my changing in direction of walking. She is stalking with activity as she enters on camera, okay? And she exits the store at 8:21 p.m. That's what I wanted to document. At 8:21 p.m. also, the state has migrated, which would be south as I have migrated, and is no longer patrolling over 280 North Limit Apartments. The state is flying directly over B&G Plaza at 8:21 p.m. as well, okay? That's P.O.C. That is the helicopter activity flying over over Emporia. That's the south side, because I'm on the opposite side where the group stalker that had the tent has been sleeping on the south side where I usually sleep. So the state is flying visible where I can see it visibly, just like it does when I'm on the south side, and it flies over the opposite side in relevant position. The state's flying over the south side in relevant position, monitoring what I'm doing on YouTube. Right? And what I'm doing on YouTube is uploading videos. That's at 9:11 p.m. (9:30 p.m.) It's a commercial-sized plane hovering over the museum, flying west. And a second plane flying at a higher elevation. Both planes are the state. One is used as a means of audible activity, which the state is amplifying, and another one is in relevant position monitoring as well. 9:31 p.m.